In an earlier video, I talked about using pocket screws to attach the rails of the fence to the posts. And why I was doing that, because I didn't really have access to the front of the fence. In this case, I've removed a picket, so I do have access, but I've decided it's going to be more convenient to just use the pocket screws. So I thought I'd show in some detail how that works. Here's this jig from Kreg that I ordered on Amazon. So what it does is it gives you two things. It gives you just the right angle for these pocket holes, and it gives you just the right depth. And so the way that works is that you get the jig, and you also get, with the kit, you get a special drill bit and a stop, and they tell you how to calibrate it. So the drill bit looks like this, and if you look at it, the drill bit has kind of two profiles there. It has a thick part, and then it has kind of a pilot hole part. So what this drill bit does is it actually creates the recess for the pocket screw as well as the pilot hole for the screw itself, all in one go. So then what you do, so you position your jig the way you want it, and it's got this stop on it here. So you mount it at the point where you want your material to stop. And I guess I'll just put the camera down here for the moment so that I can use two hands. And then what you do is you clamp the jig to the material, and Kreg makes a special clamp that you can buy for this purpose, but I have these Irwin clamps, so I'm just going to use that. You make sure that it's flush on the material, on the surface where the screws are going to connect, and tighten it down good. And then what I'm going to do is get out my, where is it? Get out my drill. And there's the drill, and attach, mount the bit in the chuck here. Tighten that down, and then all you do is put the bit in the jig like so, and I always like to kind of hold the jig as well. Then you just let her go. So there's the first hole, and now we'll do the second one. So you just do it till you hit the stop, and then what that creates is these two pocket holes that look like that. If you look down in there, you can kind of see where the pilot hole for the screw is as well. So what I'll do is take my shop vac and clean these out. And then I'll dress up the opening to the post Ordinarily, when I'm going to have these pocket screws, I cut them before I stain the post. In this case, I kind of changed my mind. I was looking more closely at how I have to mount the rail to the fence, and I think these will be better. So I cleaned that up a little bit, and then those holes look like that. You can kind of, again, you can see the hole a little bit. And then the screws they use, I ordered a whole bunch of these Kreg screws. The screws are match the jig, so you need to use Kreg's screws. So these things, so you can see the profile of these. These have like a built-in washer, so to speak, so they have a flat head and then a square drive. Heavy duty, they're coated. So they just go right in there. And this thing is hitting the pilot hole. And then you just, so when the screw is driven in, it sits about like so you can see where the threads end. So it sits on the seat, this head sits on the seat that was created by the drill bit, and then the screw itself goes down the pilot hole that the bit created. So it sits like that at kind of like an angle like that, only it's down in the material sort of like so. So it makes a really tidy and solid connection. This is kind of how most cabinets and furniture is put together these days, with these kind of fasteners. So it works pretty good. So that's the story there. Bye.